You sit down with a plan, maybe to study, maybe to work on yourself, maybe to finally do the thing you promised yourself you would do. Everything is ready, but then nothing happens. Your body feels heavy. Your mind starts drifting. You suddenly remember things that don't matter. Your phone looks interesting. The task feels uncomfortable. And you tell yourself the most dangerous sentence of all. I'll start in a minute, but that minute turns into 10. 10 turns into an hour, and the day quietly disappears. Here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't laziness. This isn't lack of discipline. And it definitely isn't because you're weak. What's actually happening is much worse. Your brain is fighting you. Not accidentally. Not sometimes. On purpose. The same brain you trust to think, plan, and dream is the one quietly pulling you away from effort. And the scary part? Most people live their entire lives thinking the problem is them, when the real problem is how the brain is wired. Today I'm going to show you why starting feels painful, why discipline feels unnatural, and why forcing motivation keeps failing. Once you see this, you won't blame yourself again. Your brain did not evolve for modern life. It didn't evolve for exams. It didn't evolve for goals. It didn't evolve for self-improvement. It evolved for survival. Thousands of years ago, effort was dangerous. Running too far meant exhaustion. Thinking too long meant hesitation. Wasting energy could literally get you killed. So the brain learned a simple rule: save energy, avoid unnecessary effort. That rule kept humans alive. But here's the problem. Your brain never updated that rule. Today, effort doesn't mean danger, but your brain still treats it that way. When you try to study, train, focus, build habits, your brain doesn't see progress. It sees discomfort, uncertainty, delayed reward, so it activates the same system it uses for threats. That tight feeling before starting, that urge to escape, that sudden need for distraction, that's not weakness. That's your brain saying, this feels risky. Avoid it. This is why starting is harder than continuing. Once you begin, nothing bad actually happens. But before you start, your brain imagines costs without reward. So it pushes you toward comfort, familiarity, easy stimulation. That's why scrolling feels natural and effort feels heavy. Your brain is not trying to sabotage your life. It's trying to protect you using outdated rules. And until you understand that, every attempt at discipline will feel like a fight you keep losing. Most people think motivation is the problem. They say, I just need more motivation. If I felt motivated, I'd be disciplined. Motivation is not a reliable fuel. It's not even stable. Motivation is an emotion. And emotions don't obey logic. They obey how you feel right now. That's why motivation appears at strange times, late at night after watching an inspiring video. When you imagine a better future in those moments, everything feels possible. You plan, you promise yourself tomorrow will be different, but then morning comes. Your energy is lower, your brain is tired, the future feels far away, and suddenly the motivation is gone. This happens because your brain constantly asks one question: how do I feel right now? Not what will help me in 6 months. What decision is best long-term? Your brain is present-focused. It prioritizes comfort now, relief now, pleasure now. So when motivation clashes with discomfort, discomfort usually wins. This is why relying on motivation feels like betrayal. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day you feel empty. Not because you changed, but because your brain changed states. Motivation doesn't disappear because you're lazy. It disappears because your brain doesn't see immediate benefit. And waiting for it is the reason so many people stay stuck. Your brain learns through comparison. Every action you take is silently judged, not morally, not logically, chemically. Your brain compares effort versus comfort, pain versus pleasure, delay versus instant reward. Now look at modern life. Your phone gives you entertainment instantly, validation instantly, distraction instantly, no effort, no waiting, studying, training, or building discipline offers the opposite: effort first, reward later to your brain. This feels like a bad deal. So when you reach for your phone instead of your task, your brain releases dopamine, and dopamine teaches one lesson: this choice was good. Repeat it. Each time you avoid effort and choose the easy reward, your brain learns faster than you realize. It doesn't think, this is bad for my future. It thinks, this removes discomfort right now. That's why distractions feel irresistible. Your brain isn't choosing what's best for you. It's choosing what feels safest and easiest in the moment. This process is called reinforcement learning, and it's powerful over time. Your brain associates effort equals discomfort, distraction equals relief. So even before you think about starting, your brain already prefers escape. This is why discipline feels harder every time you avoid it. Not because your willpower is shrinking, but because your brain is being trained in the wrong direction. The good news: what's learned can be relearned, but only if you stop fighting your brain and start understanding how it actually works. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think discipline is about forcing yourself, about pushing through resistance, about being mentally tough. Psychology says the opposite. Discipline doesn't come from strength. It comes from design. Your brain doesn't resist work because it hates success. It resists work because the starting cost feels too high. When a task feels large, vague, or overwhelming, your brain predicts pain before reward. And when predicted pain is high, avoidance becomes automatic. That's why telling yourself, I'll study for 2 hours, feels heady. But saying, we'll open the book, doesn't. Your brain reacts to how big the first step feels, not the final goal. This is why discipline starts with one rule. Lower the starting costs. Not someday. Not gradually. Immediately. Study for 5 minutes. Write 1 sentence. Do 1 push-up. These actions are too small for your brain to resist. Once you start, something changes. Your brain shifts from avoidance to engagement. This is called behavioral momentum. Action creates clarity. Movement creates motivation, not the other way around. And here's the part most people miss. Your brain also needs immediate reward, not big rewards, not long-term promises. Small signals that say, this was safe, this was worth it. A short break, a stretch, a feeling of completion. Discipline works when your brain feels relief, not punishment. You don't defeat your brain. You train it. Every time you start small, your brain updates its prediction. It learns, effort didn't hurt me. Every time you stop before burnout, it learns, I'm safe doing this. And every time you attach a small reward, it learns, effort leads to relief. This is how habits form, not through motivation, not through willpower, through repeated safety signals. Over time, something powerful happens. The resistance fades. Starting no longer feels painful. Effort no longer feels threatening. Not because the task got easier, but because your brain stopped treating it like danger. This is how discipline becomes automatic. Not loud, not dramatic. Quiet. Effort becomes normal. Consistency becomes natural. And the moment you understand this, self-improvement stops being a fight. It becomes a system that works with your brain, not against it. If discipline has always felt hard, it was never because you were weak. It was because no one taught you how your brain actually works. Your brain wasn't designed for modern life. It was designed to protect you from danger, even when that danger is just effort. Once you understand that, self-improvement stops feeling personal. You stop blaming yourself. You stop forcing motivation. You stop fighting your own mind. And instead, you build systems that your brain can accept. This is what real discipline looks like. Not intensity, not pressure, not punishment. Understanding. If you want more psychology-based self-improvement, more explanations that make effort feel lighter, and more ways to work with your brain instead of against it, subscribe. Your brain is powerful. You just need to stop using it the wrong way.